What is up, y'all? I ended up forgetting to film an intro for this video, so I'm gonna go ahead and just start off with a voiceover, going ahead and getting this engine cleaned up real quick for this car that we're doing a cam on. I'll get into detail in that here in the video, but y'all go ahead and enjoy. Alright, now it's looking a lot better. I just gotta get the other head over there in the parts washer, and then get over on this side and start getting this side all cleaned up. We should be able to get ready to put the cam in and start dropping lifters back in and getting this thing back going. Alright, so real quick, I don't think I've gone over what exactly this engine is out of. It is out of a C6Z, specifically this one right here. This is going to be all of our parts going on it. A fast LSX 102 intake, BTR camshaft with all the matching valve train to go with it, some new gaskets, ARP hardware, aftermarket flywheel there, and a new clutch setup. And they'll be going on the roller over there to get a nice tune-up after this cam goes in. Alright, so we got the other cylinder head out of the hot tank there, and then laid back out on the table. Went ahead and wiped it down and hit it with a very soft Brillo pad just to get off any other surface material that didn't come off in there. Like this right here is just some residue from what I just took off there. They cleaned up pretty good. We're going to see what the other one looks like after we get it out and go from there and start getting this thing back together as soon as we get some gaskets in. Shut the pump off. Alright, we're open. Oh yeah, looks like it cleaned up real nice. I'm going to get this cylinder head out of here. Ooh, good catch. Get this cylinder head out of here, and then we'll go get it put on the table with the other one and cleaned up the same way. And then start going from there and figuring out what else we need gasket wise to get the motor back together and have this thing getting back in the car. Alright, let's go ahead and get this other cylinder head moved over and get the other one out of the hot tank and bring it on over here with this guy. Got the other head laid out on the table. You can see the difference between the two. They're both about equally as clean, except still have all this carbon deposit all over our exhaust runners. So we're gonna go ahead and get that cleaned up and get to work on the block some more. Alright, so got both cylinder heads all cleaned up. Looking super good inside and out. We got all our mating surfaces cleaned up. These are already clean before they even went into the hot tank, before they even came off the car. We didn't get any gunk inside of them while we were pulling them. Same thing with this one, but it came out super clean. So now what we got next to do is go ahead and get some of the hardware off these valve covers and probably this filler cap, and get those valve covers popped in the hot tank and get them cleaned up so they don't, you know, look terrible on top of those freshly cleaned heads. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, now we got the valve covers put in the hot tank over there and cleaning. I think it's time to start working on cleaning up this block a little bit. So as you guys saw, I went ahead and cleaned up the mating surfaces for the cylinder heads. That way we have a nice clean surface for our head gaskets to lay down on. I think what I'm gonna go ahead now and do is tape up this surface here. Probably come and tape up some areas on here. And from there we'll go ahead and kind of move it towards the garage door over there. We got the hot seat, which is basically a hot water pressure washer. And I will lather this thing down with some degreaser and we'll get it looking right. Alright, so as you guys seen, I just got the top of the decks all taped up on both sides. Keep debris and water from getting inside the block and down into the oil pan there, since I don't know if we'll be taking that off yet. The customer hasn't decided if they want to reseal it. It does leak a little bit around there on both sides, a little bit of seepage. Nothing too major, but still should take care of it while it's out of the car. But we're going to go ahead and pop on that front cover over there and throw the old gasket back in with it so we can get that all sealed up front and go ahead and get everything pressure washed. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and get the valve covers pulled out and get everything laid back out and get ready the cam to go back in this thing. So I think while those valve covers are finishing up over there in the hot tank, what we're going to go ahead and do is put that front cover on like I was saying, get it all sealed back up a little bit, and then go ahead and push it out the back garage door there and get it all degreased and hot seat up and bring it back in and get it ready for reassembly. So that's pretty much all we're doing, is just a cam kit on it, and then maybe a reseal on some gaskets that are leaking. On the roller it goes to get a tune and pick up some horsepower and get a little chop out of it. But I think for now what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna grab a drink, and then we're gonna go out there and get this block all pressure washed up. We got it all pressure washed and cleaned up. That painter's tape that I used didn't really fare too well against the degreaser I was using. However, that degreaser I was using did a fantastic job. Shout out to the Hotsy detergent for that. Came out real clean. Just gonna go ahead and get this tape taken off and roll it back inside. Alright, so had to take a quick intermission and had to go pick up some shelves for the shop. However, we are back. I already pushed the engine back into the shop because it was getting a little cloudy and I didn't want it to get rained on while I was away. But we already got it pushed in, and I'll show you guys what it looks like now that it's all been blow dried off and cleaned up. I think it turned out really great, so we'll see what's next in the process. All right, so here's the engine after being pressure washed, and then all the threads and everything blown out, getting all the water off of it. I think it came out fantastic. The oil pan came out really good. I was a little curious on how well that would clean up, being that it was already caked in oil, being it has a seep along both sides, down the side of the block. Even the bottom of it came up really clean. The back housing here, this back housing, and everywhere in the bell housing area was all covered in clutch material and a little bit of oil from this rear main seal leaking. And I don't think I can get, you know, any seepage on camera. It has been empty in oil and just got cleaned up, but it is seeping out of the bottom of the rear main there and on both sides of the oil pan gasket. Cleaned up super well. Just waiting for approval on, you know, replacing this and that oil pan gasket. And then once that's done, I broke this sensor pulling it out. Simple fix, just a oil pressure sensor right there. I'll go ahead and get the new one popped on after we put it back in the car. Lesson learned with clearance issues on that in a Corvette. And then from there, we'll go ahead and get the new cam and everything in, valve springs, get the heads popped back on. We'll put it back on the engine hoist right here and go ahead and get the clutch reassembled and get going on it, going back in the car. So after going over the engine with you guys and everything, I almost forgot, but I remembered while going over it that I have the valve cover still in the parts washer, so I'm going to pull these out and show you guys what they look like. Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. Cleaned up on both the bottom and the top very well. One of these had a spot right there. Looks like it didn't get it all the way, but I can probably take care of that with some brake clean after we get them over there on the table. But yeah, so we'll get them set over there and get everything ready to be put back together here shortly. You gonna bounce?
Yeah, deuce.
Later. Here, real quick before you take off, what do you think of how well this all cleaned up? The heads, the valve cover, the block, everything.
Looks good. I can eat off of it.
Looks brand new, don't it?
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, well, I'll catch you later.
Later.
All right, Mr. Freddie just popped by for a minute. Had to say what's up to him, have him check it out. He approves. But as I showed you guys, there was this corner here that had all that gunk off there, or on there rather. And I got it off there with some brake clean and a rag, cleaned up real nice. So now we got a really clean engine to work with. Pop that front cover back off, kick that cam in there, drop in the original lifters that were in it, the lifter trays there. Those push rods will not be used. We do have new custom length push rods to match the cam that is going in here. So we'll go ahead and get all that stuff reassembled here soon. So it is getting kind of late in the day. I haven't heard anything back from the customer yet on what we're gonna do with the leaks that this engine had. The rear main is, you know, a bigger concern being that the transmission has to be pulled, or sorry, torque tube in this case has to be pulled, or the engine has to come back out to repair that. Honestly, same thing goes for the oil pan. I mean, you're dropping the front cradle or pulling the engine as well to get that sealed up. So hopefully they opt in for getting that resealed. We can get that all tied up. But for now, I think that's gonna finish it off. Went ahead and got the engine all cleaned up and pretty much ready to go back together. It's just about time to start breaking out the new parts and laying them all out and figuring out what else we might need or what else we don't need, and getting it ready to go back in this car. So appreciate y'all watching. Y'all have a good one.